We're moving away from the chill of Colorado and heading to Utah. Hi, we're Mark and Paula. Today starts an 11-part series in our travels in some of the most beautiful and remote areas in the state. Our first stop is Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. Utah is high on our list of destinations. Its landscapes are a stunning tapestry of rugged canyons, towering red rock formations, and desert expanses. The earth here seems to pulse with color, from the fiery reds of the sandstone cliffs to the soft, muted purples of distant mountains. Every corner of southern Utah tells a story of time's slow, deliberate carving of breathtaking wilderness. So we're enjoying the ride. I've planned for this adventure, but not for this first part. We're meeting our friends Steve and Diana here. They come twice a year and already know the ropes, so we're going to ride on their coattails. The last time we were here was 35 years ago when we camped on a houseboat while exploring Lake Powell. It's one of the best travel memories we have. This time will be different. There'll be no houseboat. Instead, we'll be camping on the shore of the lake. We came prepared with our kayaks. Our friends have already been here a while. They go to great lengths to find a great campsite, so we knew we'd end up in a perfect spot. We told them to send us a pin of the campsite and we'd find them. But they said, no, we'll meet you in the little town of Tickaboo and bring you to the site. Come to find out, there was definitely a reason for that. There are fees to get in for both you and your boat, but we have the senior pass, which allows us to get in for free. I didn't feel much getting into the campsite, but I'll show you later and talk about why this campsite may not be for everyone. But it sure is beautiful and just what the doctor ordered for rest and relaxation. We spent the next 2 days talking with friends and relaxing. Unless there was a boil, that's a feeding frenzy of fish. When it happens, conversations come to an abrupt halt, and serious fishermen like our friend Steve dive in the water because he says they'll bite at anything and you can catch a lot of fish fast, within your limits, of course. It's beautiful here. My friend Diana describes being on the water as freedom. I think that's the perfect word to describe it. After a very relaxing couple of days, it was time for our friends to leave. They're good sports about me filming them, thank goodness. I really wasn't ready for them to go, but I suppose all good things must come to an end. GPS has our location in the middle of Lake Powell. That's because the water level in the lake is much lower than when the campsite was built. It's made the road to get to these sites pretty interesting. Steve warned us that it was rough, but he assured us that many larger rigs can get in here. We just need to take it slow. However, some sections were worse than previous years, so we'll drive out with him in case he gets stuck. As we pass the bathrooms and designated sites, you can see where the original water levels came. There's one hill that's really tricky. Parts that were ripped off from brave souls who have attempted this trek have been left abandoned, and we heard quite a few stories of campers that didn't fare so well. Steve calls this hill the Widowmaker. I can do a lot of speculating on why he calls it that. It's clearly the worst spot. He made it fine, just with some minimal scraping on the hitch. Of course, I was helpful by staying out of the way, and I just filmed. It was amazing how many larger rigs came in later that week. Our trailer, Miss Kitty, has pretty good clearance, and we've shaken the snot out of her. But if it wasn't for Steve telling us that we could make it, I don't think we would have tried. Now, we just need to get out of here by ourselves. But for now, I'm in charge of checking the stick that marked the original water level when Steve and Diana first came, and the hubs is in charge of keeping the fire going. Enough sitting on our keisters, it's time to explore Bullfrog. We started at the visitor center. It wasn't open, so we waited around and read the information boards outside. We learned that Bullfrog Marina was the second largest marina on Lake Powell. The signage said it was the gateway to fascination and mysterious world of red rock canyons, hanging gardens, prehistoric Indian sites, and pioneer trails. I think we might just need to come back and explore some of this. I had no idea. We also learned that there are 7 states that have access to the Colorado River and its tributaries. It's the greatest source of water in the Southwest. The Glen Canyon Dam is one of several dams that collect this water. No one ever showed up, so we continued on to explore more. In addition to the campground we're staying at, if you can call it that, there are 2 more campgrounds at Bullfrog. The first one we drove through seemed pretty basic and not in great shape, but it did have hookups. Next, we headed down the road to check out the marina. One of the nice things about the area is that there are abundance of places to dump your trash. You can rent your watercraft here. It's popular to rent houseboats to explore Lake Powell, but be prepared to pay a pretty penny to do so. The Charles Hall Ferry was running when we were here. It had been shut down for 3 years due to low water levels, making it unsafe to operate. The ferry moves cars, trucks, RVs, trailers, pedestrians, bicycles, and motorcycles from Hall's Crossing to Bullfrog. Without the ferry, the 25-minute crossing would be extended to 2 hours by road. Make sure and check if you're planning on utilizing the ferry because it may be shut down once again or may operate on a limited basis. Bullfrog's population consists of only a handful of permanent residents, increased only by a few hundred seasonal employees. The post office is flanked on either side by showers and laundry. The Defiance House Lodge and Restaurant was our next stop. We're here in October, and to our surprise, many things seem to be closed up, so we snooped around outside. In the center of Bullfrog is a Sinclair gas station. As you might expect, being remote, things are a bit pricey here, but they have a small amount of a lot of things if you forgot to pack something. You can fill up on air and water for free here. We found some interesting information here. The lake's water level was the lowest point in February 2023 since 1980 due to drought and overconsumption, but fortunately it's on the rise. Walk around the corner and you can find a gift shop where you can pick up something to remember your trip or buy some bait. Parking for the boat ramp was full of vehicles and their trailers. Except for the lure of someplace like Lake Powell, we haven't really desired to take a boating vacation. Thoughts are starting to creep in though, especially with the possibility of visiting an archaeological site and having a new view around each outcrop of the lake. I see why people buy a boat just to use here. There's so much to explore. I'm starting to feel the bug, and the hubs and I are trying to figure out how to do this without spending a fortune. Anybody have any ideas? We stopped to read the signage before taking a look at the ramp. We spoke to the friendly attendant for a while. He said that the ramp was 6 lanes wide. He also talked about the blistering heat during the summer. He said the water temps were warm then, and it was very popular to come during that time of year. He also told us that the fueling station wasn't in operation further down the lake, and it would be a while before it would be back up. That would have the potential to change some plans. The next campground we checked out seemed to be in much better shape than the first, but there are no hookups here, just bathrooms. It's also closest to the dump station. We stopped to check out the fee station. It seemed a bit pricey for no hookups. But after all, we're at a national park, so I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Our last place to explore was the beach. It's a nice day use area if you want to go swimming. From here you can see the original ramp for the ferry. This was a great start to our adventures in Utah. The fact that we didn't really have to plan or research before we came made it relaxing. I think we'll have to return to do some more exploring though. Our time here is limited because there's so much to see in this great state. I've put some links in the description if you're interested in coming here. Next time you'll see us, we'll be taking the suggestion from a viewer on their favorite Utah scenic drive. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss an episode.
I was going to try an almond diet. That's just nuts.